Procrastinate versus self-control. From recent studies, we know that the primary reason we procrastinate is that we are not sufficiently rested. In simple words, we could say that we procrastinate because of not having slept well. Welcome, I'm David. Today there are different revealing studies in this regard, and that as a conclusion give sleep the priority, the fundamental factor to control if we want to be more effective and productive. As we already know, procrastination or postponement is the action of delaying activities or situations that must be addressed, replacing them with other more irrelevant or pleasant situations out of fear or laziness to face them. To put it in another way, we don't give our task the attention they need. The lack of productivity or being people who procrastinate does not necessarily have to do with how we manage our time, but with the self-control we have in our habits and actions. Our control to set a specific sleep schedule and the discipline to comply with it is vital to be more productive. One of the most serious issues in our society is the delaying in going to bed, and so starting our rest, our physical and mental recharge. If you do not have the self-control in your sleep hours, this leads you to lose control of the rest of the things you do in the day. Knowing that we don't always have control over our work schedules can lead us to skipping sleep. The necessary condition to be autonomous is to be disciplined. What is more important, sleep or work? The main consensus is that without sleep, there is no work. Sleep deprivation leads to harmful effects for humans, and they appear just in few days. Many people in the professional world, including students, live with a lack of sleep, and this makes them less effective in their day-to-day tasks and pushes them to procrastinate without remedy. The concept of sleep delay is common among students and professionals in all types of sectors. An overloaded schedule can lead us to lose our self-control if we do not have it well structured and begin to put off work that we should do and think more about what we will do in our free time. It is vital to remember that if we do not control our schedule, in some way or another, we lose control of our lives. This leads us to delay our time to go to bed more frequently, and in the end we enter a chain that the only thing that leads us is to be less productive and to the possible loss of health. All the studies lead to the same root of the problem in productivity, and it is the lack of sleep, since there is a direct correlation between a bad night's sleep and that the next day we become procrastinators. Thus, we enter a vicious cycle that we necessarily have to break. Not sleeping well affects our mood, including our physical features. If you don't have self-control in your sleep hours, this leads you to lose control of the rest of the things you do in the day. In our day, we also fight against something that worsens our quality of sleep, and it is overstimulation that we receive, and not only through technology. The dopamine injection that we receive through the television, our cell phones, from our computers are constant. These keep us in a perpetual state of overstimulation, and on a rare occasions we cut through all this and spend time thinking about our things without external distractions. Even many people are afraid of this type of action, of meditating or simply stopping to think about their things in a calm state. You could say that some people panic about their thoughts, and what they do is resort to distractions that keep them away from their being. But a good solution to this problem is to incorporate meditation as a daily practice. So we could say that the number one reason we procrastinate is that we don't get enough sleep. Well, lost control of our sleep schedule, procrastination enters our life. And the logical solution to this problem is to regain our self-control and rule our lives again. How to get self-control and willpower? There are no simple solutions to increase our self-control and our willpower. Our effort and a method such as going step by step increasing our willpower are necessary. Self-control is difficult. 3 steps to developing willpower. 1. Set goals. 2. Establish an action plan. 3. Do it. For this, we must change our attitudes to develop willpower. If concerning a topic of our interest, but that it is difficult for us to execute it, we will have to change our attitudes. If it is negative, make an effort to transform it into positive. If it is of emotional origin, transform it into rational by applying rationality to the topic. If it is passive, move to action, transforming it into active. Willpower can be developed. Some techniques to improve and develop willpower are: 1. Self-control. That is, to develop the ability to choose the right thing, analyzing whatever the action we must undertake is to cover an important need, which is in itself positive, or if it is an expression of a simple desire of less importance. 2. Go limiting the comfort zone, developing steps little by little. For example, if we want to introduce a new intermittent fasting system, start with small steps, distancing the hours between meals and avoiding snacking something between those meals until eating only 2 meals a day, with spaces of 14 and 10 hours or 16 and 8 hours. 3. Resist 10 minutes of holding before doing something that we plan to do, and thus gradually develop our willpower. Another idea is to write down your commitment and thus commit to yourself, forcing yourself to fulfill it. Self-control, tenacity, willpower. Develop a strong faith in ourselves as a person, without which no action reaches a happy end. Any person can, if they purpose and want to, be a sculptor of their self-control and willpower, and thus yield great fruits for themselves and others. If we give importance to the discipline of the will, we will overcome not only attitudes but also our abilities as people. There are studies and many books that have been written on how to improve our quality of sleep, and I have seen the simplest solution is to force yourself to adhere to a schedule. Now you can do whatever you want, and if you don't have the self-imposed discipline to go to bed and get up at a predetermined time, your procrastination problem has no solution. To create a sleep schedule plan with specific times, actions to take before going to bed, how to avoid white light an hour before going to bed, or maintain a suitable temperature that will facilitate our sleep, or plan a dinner that is not too much heavy and help us in our digestion, but above all, commit to comply with it. Procrastination is a serious problem in our society, and in one way or another we all fall into it. At least today we know reliably which is the most important factor causing this problem. Let's think about remedying it as soon as possible and thus regain our self-control to be freer. And okay, if you are interested in our videos, I suggest you give a like and subscribe to our channels in English and in Spanish, as we publish videos every week.